Hi there, Richard Matthew here. So I just was chatting with somebody, a network marketer online, and they were like, I want to max my compensation plan out. I want to get to the top rank, get on stage, leaderboards, all those kind of things. How do I do that? And I said, well, there's only really three ways that you can do that. And I explained it to them. I want to explain it to you as well. So if you're somebody that really wants to go the full stretch to the very top of your company, then there's only really three ways you can do it. I'm going to start with the third. So the second to my favourite, because the favourite one that I've got is very it's hardly ever promoted. You never really see this or hear this in your company. So I want to leave that till the end because I think it's the most important one to stick in your brain. So let's just dive straight into this with number three. What is the third way that you can max out your comp plan, go to the top ranks in your company? Well, it's the most publicized way and the least likely way. So this is what you'll hear the most about, but in terms of results, it's the least likely. And that is what I call luck. Now, luck isn't a strategy, is it? Luck is not a strategy. This is what I call lottery prospecting. Okay, lottery prospecting. And you will hear a lot about this from your company, they'll drag out like the 5 people who made this work. Maybe the 50 people made it work out of hundreds of thousands of people. So the percentages are very, very thin. But in anything, you flip a coin, you go for the lottery, whatever, someone is going to win, but they have no control over it. And this is where you're saying, oh, go prospect everyone within 3 feet of you. Hey, I prospected a waiter and the waiter made me a millionaire. Hey, I just went to the guy across the road and the guy across the road brought 15 people in who brought in 100 and we retired at the beach. You can't teach that. And the problem in our industry is we make it seem as though this is a predictable strategy when it's not. Think about it. If you've got a street, right, and you've got, these are meant to be properties, by the way. These are properties on that street, okay? Different people living in each of these properties. And your upline decides to go and prospect this side of the street, house to house to house to house. And in this house here, they find a leader. Woohoo, happy days. And they say, what you got to do is just go to the people on the street, knock on some doors, prospect some people. Man, it only took me a day and I found my leader. You go, oh cool, that's easy, I'll do that. So then you go down here and you're knocking on the door, knocking on the door, knocking on the door, and so on and so forth. And you find nobody. And you go, but I followed the plan. The thing is, who lives in these houses? You don't know. You could find 50 streets, 100 streets, 1,000 homes, and no one within those homes could be anything like the leader that you're looking for. You're just wasting your time. You could go to the second house, and the leader could be there. You just don't know. So there's always that temptation of, oh, it could be the one, could be the one, could be the one, and that makes you do stupid stuff. I remember we're building this business from scratch, and I knew about 1,000 people, okay, and out of those 1,000 people, I like a nice clean whiteboard. I like to get rid of all the little bits and pieces. It's just OCD. So I knew about 1,000 people, and I invited them all. I didn't shirk. I was serious. I'm like, I'm going to invite them all through Facebook, on the phone, face to face. Out of those 1,000, 328 said yes to a presentation. Okay, Richard, I'll take a look. Out of those 328, none of them said yes. All in a row, 328 times, no, 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 no. So I'm going back to my upline and I'm saying, you said prospect everybody. You said I'll find the leader. I spoke to 1,000 people. I've shown 328 and I've got nothing to show for it. I followed the presentation the company told me to. I did what you said. I asked these questions. I practiced with my friends and family. Like, I did what you said I was going to do. And you know what they had back for me? Just go show more people. And I'm like, I don't think you understand why I'm here. I'm here to create freedom in my life. Like, I just lost a business. I was in debt. I wanted to be the father I wanted to be. Like I wanted to be there for my wife and daughter. I'm like, I want to feel like, you know, the man that I feel I can be. I don't want this to be a 5, 10, 15 year maybe plan. Like, maybe it'll be the next one. Hopefully it'll be the next one. I don't want to do that. And it caused me to do some crazy shit because of this, because I was getting that pressure. And I'd go to an event and I'd see 3 people on stage and they'd all say, I just prospected some people. And I go, that must be the way. But luck is not a strategy. So with this, I'd be like, my wife would be like, it's time for dinner. This could be the one. 2 hours later answering questions to some idiot who was never serious in the first place because that's what I was told to do. Don't make that mistake. If you like speaking to people and you're not really interested in making money, then fine. Method number 3 will work for you. Lotto prospecting, just anybody, everybody, who knows, it could be the winning ticket. But if you're serious about maxing out a comp plan, if you're serious about becoming a leader, if you're serious about getting to the top ranks, and you don't want that to be luck, then you need to pay attention to the next methods. Number 2, again, not one you want to do, but definitely number 1. So we've done that. What's the second one? So number 2 is the old-fashioned way. And this is where we, what's called, mine the warm market. So let's call this warm market mining. This is the way that a lot of traditional people do it. So here's how it goes. So let's say you're brand new today. You just signed, I'm your upline, you just signed, I'm not going to try and sponsor you, by the way. I'm not even building a team, so don't worry about that. But let's just say I sponsored you, and you're a new team member, and I then say to you, you're brand new today, I say, okay, who do you know that we could get into this business or get on an auto ship? Who do you know? And you go, I don't really thought about that. Well, give me some names. And you say, oh, I don't know, Todd. Let's go to Todd. Okay. Who else? Julie. Okay, let's go to Julie. Who else? Give me another one. Sue. I know Sue. Okay, cool. Who else? I know Steve. Okay, great. That'll do for now. So we got Todd, Julie, Sue, and Steve, who you know, and maybe these people will join you in your new business and buy products from you, right? Your new MLM business. So we go, right. So me and you together go to Todd, either in a 3-way call on Skype or Zoom, something like that, or physically go meet them if we're all local to each other, right? So we go through these people. Now, Todd's a bust. He's like, what the hell are you trying to show me here? I thought you were going to have a baby or something with your wife, and now you tricked me into this meeting. What gives? Because that's what we're taught to do, right? Don't tell them anything. Just get them in the meeting and I'll do the pressure sale. That's no good. Julie's on the fence. She's a maybe. Sue is a bust. Steve's like, yep, I'm poor. Like, I'm broke. I need the money. They're the worst people to prospect, by the way, because you need the money to join. But anyway, let's say Steve is desperate. He's like, I'll join your business. So what do we do then? Now, either me or you gets with Steve and says, Steve, who do you know? Who we can show right now? And again, Steve gives us some names. We go through these. We may pick up the third one. We say, who do you know? And can you see how this goes on? So we're mining the warm market. Warm market meaning people who you already know. So I'm asking you, who's in your network? You show me somebody. If somebody in there says yes, we go through their warm market and their warm market. So we're always kind of farming or mining the people who are familiar with somebody. And the ethos or the thought behind this is that people who know you are more likely to say yes. Now, I would agree with that, but here's the problem. Are you in control of this process? The same as number 1. Are you in control of it? You are not. We are relying that you or someone you know happens to know somebody who's a leader. Could it be like the streets, where your network, nobody, like me, 1,000 people, nobody said yes. So there's no more warm market to mine in. It stops dead there and then. What's going to happen to your team or your team members if you suddenly say, I can't work with you anymore because we've been through everybody you know, so see ya, I need to find somebody else, which often happens. People are dropped, kicked out Facebook groups. That's not the right way to do things. It's not a professional business. No, it's lottery again. We're thinking about, hoping about, fingers crossed someone else will do it for us. Also, the problem with number 2 and number 3, it can collapse at any time. Let's say, who was it? Was it Sue who brought someone in? Let's say Sue's a superstar, hence the name Superstar Sue, and she brings in 50 people. And in those 50 people, they bring on 1,000 people. And you go, happy days, I'm getting to the top of my comp plan, maxing it out on stage, woohoo, I'll take my accolades now. Can't teach anybody anything because it's luck. But then Sue says, you know what, I don't want to sell Juicy Juice anymore. I've been tapped up by a travel company. I think travel's going to be better than Juicy Juice. So I'm going to take my network and I'm going to go to the travel, Travel instead of Juicy Juice. And you go, well, you can't do that because I'm relying on you for my income. And Sue says, I don't owe you jack shit. It's my life. It's my people. It's my network. See ya. And Sue goes. And she goes to Travel, whatever it is, right? She goes. Or Sue has an illness in the family. Or Sue something. And Sue decides, I don't want to stick at this. Most people don't stick in the first network marketing company. They go 2, 3, 4 before they tend to find a home. And even then, things can happen in that company. So again, you are not relying on yourself. You're relying on Sue or whoever else it may be. It's like, imagine if you had a restaurant and you couldn't cook and you couldn't wait tables and you didn't understand the business and you'd hired 3 people to do this. The only chef in the area, the only person who can wait tables really well in the area. Maybe you could get lucky with that one, right? But like the chef and the manager, you'd struggle to replace them if you didn't know any of those skills yourself, right? And even if you could find someone else, can you imagine the disruption to a restaurant without a chef? Even if it was for a week, that would close you down. So don't make your business like a restaurant where you can't cook and you're relying on the chef, because what happens is fear on a daily basis and it all goes away one day, and even if you do nothing wrong. So it's just pants. Just don't do that. It's rubbish, because these can collapse and they rely on somebody else. This brings me to method number 1, my favorite, and the one that I've used and have taught many times. And this, you know why I like this? Because you are in control. Okay? Method number 1 is you-centric. And the reason I like being you-centric is, think about why you're in a network marketing business. Very important reasons that you've got, right? More money for something important. Maybe it's to clear debts, get out of pressure. You've got your reasons. We call it your why, right? Why are you here? You have a reason that's going to be important to you. For me, it was to be able to become a better man, a better husband, a better father, spend time with my wife and daughter. I wanted to travel the world with them, create memories. I wanted to inspire other people to do the same. I wanted to stop working 9 to 5. It didn't suit me. So all these things are things that are going to massively affect my life. So I didn't want to outsource those things. Do you really want to outsource things that are as important as your ultimate goals in life? You want to rely on somebody else to take care of that for you? I mean, come on, let's get real. That's just, you wouldn't take all the money in the world that you own and say, I'll let somebody else deal with that. I'll take all my happiness, all my health, all my anything, and just somebody else deal with that. No, we want to control it ourselves so we can be responsible and we can see the twists and the turns and make necessary adjustments. This is why I like you-centric. Now, you'll never see this taught, hardly ever, other than this video, right? No, never at company events. You know why? Because a couple of reasons. Why is this not taught? You say, Richard, you're going to teach me something here. Why is it I have not seen this before? And I'll go through the tactic in a second. Why have I not heard of this? I had a friend, shall remain nameless, who was doing 7 figures in network marketing. And I said to him, I know your rank advancing. I know you're one of the top earners in the company. Why do you never speak on stage? Why are you never getting the recognition? Why, they give you an award for your rank and then they kind of shuttle you out the way. You never get to speak. You're a great speaker. This person was a world famous speaker in our industry. So I'm like, why don't the company leverage that and bring you in? And he's like, I don't know. They never asked me. And I think also they don't perhaps want to reveal the truth about if you want to be certain in this industry, there's a bunch of skills and things necessary for you to do that are actually a little bit more complex than what they want to say. Think about that. What is the major reason in network marketing business? What are the major goals that it wants to have for an MLM business? Where do they make their money? They make their money from auto ships. And you know where else? Company events. Let me just grab my calculator and I'll run some numbers for you. Thankfully I'm super tidy, so everything's always in its place. So let's say for a company event, most company events, even a small to medium sized MLM company, will get probably 3,500 people at an event. And it's usually something like $300 a ticket. There's usually low ones and VIPs, but let's go in the middle at 300. So 3,500 people times 300, you just made over $1 million. It's 1,050,000. Not including t-shirts, merchandise, not including any bundles or product offers that they put inside of there. So you could probably add another 20, 30, 40, 50% of that. So 1 to 1.5 million for an event. That's where the nice big chunk of money. Auto ships, right? Keeping you paying your monthly fee. Now, can you imagine what would happen if a company came along and said, hey, you know what? you can be responsible for all of this. If it is to be, it's up to me. Come to the events if you want, but you don't need them. And also, this is actually way more complex than has been taught to you so far. It's going to take you longer. It's going to be harder. There's more hoops to jump through. There's more skills for you to learn before you can get any level of success here. But still keep on paying us every month, even though you were lied to on the way in. There's a fear factor there, right? Oh my goodness, what would happen to the representatives? They've been told, just prospect the waiter and waitress. Knock on the doors on your street. Message some people on social media, and you'll do enough digging, and you'll find, probably in the next few months, you'll find the leader who'll find the leader who'll find the leader, will mine the warm markets. Within a few years, we'll be living at the beach singing, Happy Larry, if that's the song. You get my drift, right? But if you say, hang on a minute, that's not really reality, look at the income disclosure statement, 95% of people here aren't making any money. The 5% that are, they have become a better version of themselves. They learned these skills, which I'm going to show you. They did it this way, and 1% were just pure luck. You've got to do a whole lot more work and digging, my friend. What would that do to the majority of the people that had their expectations now misaligned? They'd probably quit. They'd probably not want to pay for an event ticket. The company loses a lot of profit. So there's a lot of power in keeping the blame on you from a financial perspective. Do you see that? I'm not saying all companies do this. I'm saying that if I owned a company that relied on auto ships and events, human nature dictates that I would naturally gravitate towards what can I do to keep the events packed and keep them on their auto ship, let alone duplicate, how can I keep the people that I've got? And this is the problem that happens. Also, there are good companies out there that aren't thinking this way, but you know what happens? Tradition and culture, right? Often people think, let's call these actions. If they do an action and they repeat it over time, every time they're doing it, they're solidifying the fact that it's the right thing to do. Do you see that? Like, think about something that, whether it creates benefit or not. If you've always done it that way, you always feel that you should, that's just the way it is. You say things like this, don't we, right? Well, that's just the way we've always done it. Well, that's a tradition. Well, that's the way it's always been, right? This is the way that it is. We never challenge a lot of things because of the duration that we've been doing them for. We've never actually stepped back and gone, but is that a smart thing to do, right? We see this a lot. I mean, people used to drown women, right? To check if they were witches, just because when they came into a town, I read this once, if a new woman happened to come into the town when there was bad weather or a storm, they presumed that she was bringing the storm with them, so they'd try and drown her. And if she drowned, well, she wasn't a witch, but if she happened to somehow survive it, she is a witch and they'd kill her anyway. They did that for a long time. Is that a smart thing to do? Now we have a little bit of understanding and intelligence. The weather is completely detached from any individual, and you can't just drown somebody it's just stupid, isn't it? But because it had always been done, and if you grew up in that nature and you wanted to protect your home, and everyone had always told you from being young, oh, the witches bring the lightning, you would feel just in doing that, right? Until someone stood up and went, excuse me, science. So this is what happens in network marketing companies. They don't drown people, financially maybe, but what happens is they look around and they go, well, this is the way we've always done it. We've always built this way. This is what's always happened, right? And every other company's doing it too. So this is just the way that network marketing is. How many more people do you want to drown before you realize that it isn't a smart decision? 95% failure rate in compensation plans. You can't tell me out of the population, 95% of these people are all lazy losers. I just don't agree with that. I've traveled a lot. I'm not an old man, but in my 38 years, maybe I'm old to you, I don't know. But in my 38 years on the planet, having met a lot of people, a lot of network marketers, a lot of entrepreneurs, from people struggling financially to multimillionaires, I can tell you that in a percentage-wise, if my life is anything to go by, it is not 95% are just wasting time. 95% are just lazy. You can't tell me that. So why is it that high in network marketing? Well, the tactics are wrong. So let me go back to this you-centric model. Okay? I'm going to switch to the blue pen here because this black one's getting a little bit, I don't know, it's not perfect. So, you-centric. Build yourself first. Takes a little bit longer, but believe it, it's worth it. What do I mean by build yourself first? Well, you need skills, right? You need to know how to generate leads. You need how to convert those leads. Come on, Richard, that's when I say convert. Right? You need to also know close, which is kind of in with that. You need to know how to scale. You need your personal habits. So personally, what's your time management? I'll put TM for time management like. What's your motivation like? What's your sleep like? Have you got any energy every day? And I could go on and on with these things. But everywhere you go, there you are. So if you're telling me, even if these tactics were useful, even if, luck was a strategy, which it isn't, what's the point in somebody teaching you something if you have got your personal habits are all out of whack, your relationships are a mess, your diet's all over the place, you're not sleeping well, you're angry, you're frustrated, you've got lots of stuff to deal with. You're never going to find a way to do it with any passion or consistency. Waste of time. What happens if these are taken care of, but you're just going, okay, I'll just blindly follow a plan? How can you acquire a new customer? I don't know. Well, when you've got some interest, what is the best way you found to convert that to an actual sale and sign up? I don't know. What are the numbers in your business so we can know how much to invest because we know what we're going to get back? I don't really know about that. Okay, if I have objections and questions, how do you deal with that? Can you systemize? Have you systemized things so you can scale? Because of course, one by one is linear death. You can never get anywhere fast just trying to go and present to one person at a time. That isn't going to work. So we need to find a way of scaling this and scaling. And do we want to scale it? Even if knocking on doors and everything was working, would you want to do that forever? So we need to look at scale at the back end and play the long game. So we have these individual skills and requirements of building you first. Because if you can learn how to become a better individual, let's put an S on there for Superman or Supergirl. This is Superman or Supergirl, right? You have to excuse my drawings. Right, so that's you with a happy face. Then everything that you do, all the attention that you're going to get, everything that you do is going to go up, isn't it? Everything is going to go up. Because everywhere you go, there you are. If you know how to generate leads and convert those leads in your business, business is going to go up. If you know how to take care of your own personal habits and you're happier in your life and you're more passionate, everything you touch and do is going to go up. Have you ever noticed how you see some leaders and some people and you're like, man, everything they touch turns to gold? Like everything they do seems so easy to them. They're always succeeding in every project. Yeah, because they built themselves first. You control the leads flowing into your business. You have a system that converts them into sales and sign-ups. That way you are the most important person in your team. People say, I'm waiting to find the diamond, Richard. I'm waiting to find the ace in the deck. Do you know who the ace in the deck needs to be? Do you know who the diamond is? It's you. You're the ace. You're the ace. Stop looking for an ace and instead turn yourself into one. Do you see that? And I don't know if you realize the gravity of the statement that I just gave you. Stop looking for the ace and concentrate on turning yourself into the ace. That's the game. That's what you want to play. This way you're in control. You know what's happening in your business. You don't rely on anybody else. If someone quit, when I was building teams, if somebody quit my business who brought in a bunch of people, I'd be like, well, that's disappointing, but I'd just turn up my system and replace them 10 times over. It's no stress, no big deal. People would say, how can you not be bothered by that? I say, because I found them and I found them through predictable, proven methods. It wasn't luck, it was strategy. And I'll find them again. I found another one this week, another 2 this week, another 3 this week. What do I care? So we teach this to our team too. Build themselves first. Now, we're already on 25 minutes, so I haven't got time to dive into specifically every single skill and how do you generate leads? How do you convert those? But just being aware of that. Just if all you took away from this video was let me start being more confident in my ability to grow and to become a better marketer and a better person, and that's going to create success, then you're way ahead of the 95% who are failing. Because those 95% for me are being disempowered. They're being taught that there's someone else out there that will create their success. I'm telling you that you are the one that will create your success. I'm telling you that if it is to be, it's up to me. If you want to create success, if you want to max out the comp plan, if you want to be in the top rank, you need to be deserving of those results. You need to be deserving of that success. Sure, you can play the lottery ticket and just prospect everybody. Sure, you can hope that the people that you know good people who know good people who know good people. If that's your bag, go for it. Maybe you'll win, maybe you won't. Maybe 20 years from now you're still scratching your head, wondering why you've been to a bunch of events, paid a bunch of auto ship, and nothing's happened. But if you truly want to have a predictable route to the top, if you're serious about success, if you're willing to roll your sleeves up and put in the work, and you're willing to be a little bit more patient and be a professional, then start to look at yourself as an individual. Where are your weaknesses? Where is the bottleneck and the blockage in your business right now? What skills do you need to acquire? Where should you be making the investment? If you don't start thinking bigger like a business owner, it's never going to pay you like one, and you're just going to be in that 95%, cheering in the aisles and doing the conga, setting up your goals in your notepad at the next event, only to screw them up and throw them away when you get home, because there's no clear strategy. Did that help? Did that help? I hope that it did. This is Ace, by the way. My drawings are terrible. He had a wicked bunion on his foot, didn't he? Anyway, I hope that you found this useful. And if you did, I'd love to see a comment beneath it. If you like the video, then like the video. And if you're a subscriber, I do one of these videos at least weekly. I know my videos are quite long, so I like to give you a good few days, 7 days to kind of get through it. Maybe you break it up into chunks. Maybe you put it in your save later or playlist or something like that. That way, you go through my training, it gives you the ability to start to really put into place what a true entrepreneur is, what it takes to build success, what it takes to build results. I'm not trying to sell you an auto ship or a event ticket or anything like that. So I can just say, okay, this is what I've done, this is what I've taught the people, this is what I actually see working in the industry. I know the 5%ers. I know what they're doing. And even though their company won't let them and me get on the stage and tell you, I'm free reign to do that in my own content, which is why I hope you get a lot of use out of what I do. So as always, go create a day in a life that counts. Always have more desires than excuses. If you're a subscriber, I'll catch you on the next one, and bye for now.